All right, hi everybody, it's Ann with Red Stick Spice, and I thought I'd go live today and, and hopefully I'll be doing this every afternoon because I was reading a post from a friend of mine, Leah, with Juniper Table today on Facebook, and she said the greatest thing. She said, it is okay to not know what to do. It's okay to not know what the next thing is that you should be doing. And I really thought about that because, when I'm spinning out, when I don't know what to do, I try to find, there are these grounding techniques that you hear about with anxiety attacks where they say, name 5 things in the room or name 3 things you can smell or something like that. And when I think of grounding techniques for when I'm feeling bad, I cut an onion. And I've always done it. It's just like, I know it's for a good reason. I can do something with it, whether it's Trinity, or if I cook them low and slow, they become caramelized onions, or just throw them in my freezer. I know something good can come of it. So cooking is what's available to me. An onion's available to me, but also cooking's available to me. It's grounding for me. And I just thought, this is what I do in times like this, where there's no playbook, or the playbook changes every 2 hours, it seems. This is what I do when I don't know what to do. So we're going to make soup today. I'm going to cut an onion and talk to you guys about it because I feel like we could make this particular soup, which is Turkish lentil soup, which is from one of our favorite partners, which is Milk Street. You guys should go check them out for great recipes while you're home and cooking. This Turkish lentil soup, we make it a lot in class. This soup is comforting in general, but this recipe is comforting to us because we know how solid it is. It just works. I just know when this soup is part of our cooking classes, we're going to have a good moment. We're like going to win the day with this soup. So that's what I'm doing here with this Turkish lentil soup. So let me cut my onion. Let me get myself grounded and cut my onion. So I just want to do a small dice, and we're going to go into the pot with these guys with some fat. I'm actually going to have Alana pop over here very quickly and get this garlic olive oil in my pot for me, so we can get that hot and get these onions going. So the way we make it, Milk Street, their recipe calls for butter, which is delicious and wonderful. We do it with olive oil because then it becomes a vegan version. But butter, oil, whatever you have on hand, whatever fat you have, I think you could go coconut oil too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever you have on hand, that's the fat you want to get into the pan. And then onions go in. Oh, and we love that sound. So that's comforting and grounding right there. So the onions go in, and we want them to get pretty soft and translucent. So they need to do their thing for a little minute here. And I'm going to put my heat up and get those guys going. And Alana, how often have you made this soup?
At least once or twice a week.
Yeah, and easily she can make it with her eyes closed. Y'all, we are trying to maintain some social distance here, so she might sound like the voice behind the curtain, but she's here and she's wonderful. She works with me, and she's a gift to us, so thank you. Okay, so these trimmings, this is a great practice all the time, but especially now where we're thinking about making sure we're really making good use of all of our ingredients. These trimmings go in my zip top bag. It's labeled stock. This lives in my freezer, and I keep adding things to it. So my onion skins, my onion trimmings are an excellent thing to put in there. Maybe trimmings from celery, maybe not the dirty parts, but trimmings from celery. The papers from garlic have tons of flavor. The papers from the onion and garlic give stock a lot of color, and there's a lot of flavor in there. And we make mostly vegetable stocks here. So that stock bag, when it gets full, that then goes in our crock pot with cold water. And that our crock pot on slow cooker on low, 12 hours. It has a nice lazy bubble, so it doesn't really like boil the stock. Nice lazy bubble, and you get great stock. So definitely grab one of these for your freezer and start filling up your bag for stock. Now, my website has this recipe. It has all of our tips for stock, so you can definitely get the recipe there. So this is a great stovetop soup. It does come together quickly. By the way, I'm going to be live with you guys for about 25 minutes, so we won't be here forever. You are your Instant Pot is available to you for this soup. So if we were in the Instant Pot, we would be on saute. Put our fat in our Instant Pot, put the onions in, saute them until they start to get pretty translucent.
Yeah.
And then I think you would just do all your dump at that point. So, well, we do saute the spices and the tomato paste, right?
Yeah, you kind of want to build a fond a little bit
Okay.
and kind of get aromatic for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So remember, when you're building fond in an Instant Pot, your Instant Pot doesn't, we know that fond is good. We know that what's needs to be scraped up off that pot is delicious, but your Instant Pot doesn't know what it is. So your Instant Pot says burn. And so you want to make sure when that liquid goes in, you really scrape that fond up off the bottom.
Right.
But we've got some browning happening here. They're definitely getting clear. And what we're going to do is then we go in with spices and tomato paste.
Yep.
We actually go in with garlic.
Yeah.
Okay.
All at the same time.
Okay, so I'm a big fan of grating garlic. It makes quick work of my not so favorite job in the kitchen. So we're going to grate a clove of garlic in there. And then you have teeny tiny pieces of delicious garlic in there. So our garlic goes in with our tomato paste, paprika, and cumin.
Yeah.
So good chance you have these on hand in your pantry. So we're just using sweet paprika. If you had smoked, I don't think it would be a problem.
Keep it tasty.
It would be delicious. If you have hot paprika, that's fine as well. Although we are going to build some heat on a condiment that we make to put on the soup. So paprika, cumin, tomato paste. So then this kind of makes a paste and builds that fond that we're talking about. So that goes in. It smells pretty tasty already. So that's getting nice and brown on the bottom. And then, and I smell that garlic. It's nice and aromatic. It doesn't need to cook for very long. And then we go on in with lentils, water, and rice, correct? Yeah. So we've got 5 cups of water. These are dal. They are split red lentils. You would get to this soup with any kind of lentil out there. I will tell you that it's going to be most beautiful with these red lentils, but not required. So if you've got some lentils knocking around in the pantry, just go for it with whatever you've got. You'll get there. Now, this is a really interesting thing. 1 tablespoon of rice goes in this soup. So it is meant to be for texture and for thickening. And it's actually a classic application. If you look at like a classic bisque, how they thickened those bisques was with rice. So we are going to cook all of that together. We need it to come up to a nice, healthy boil. And then we'll reduce to a simmer. And all total, we are 35 minutes on this soup.
With prep time, yeah.
Yeah, with prep time. So you are to this soup really, really quickly. Split red lentils cook really quickly. I will add a note to the recipe on the website about the Instant Pot, which I think would be a fairly short Instant Pot cook for a split red lentil.
So maybe 10 with a 10 natural release?
I think a 10 with a 10 natural release would definitely get you there.
Yeah.
The great thing about the Instant Pot and this pot is that if you didn't get there, you just keep cooking it and everything's fine. So we are, through the magic of Red Stick Spice Facebook Live, we have a pot of the lentils cooked. So I'm going to have Alana sweep these away, and I'm going to make the Aleppo oil that's going to go on top. This is one of the best things I've learned from Milk Street. I love when they make these spiced oils because this is all about doing something that is really, really simple that massively elevates flavor. So we're going to take oil and Aleppo chili flakes. And I don't want anyone to be concerned about Aleppo chili flakes because what you can still do this, and it's probably available to you in your pantry because you can use crushed red pepper. You know the pizza chili flakes? Yeah. You could totally use those. Aleppo chili flakes are fantastic, but chances are you've got a chili flake in your spice cabinet and you can still do this. So a neutral oil, we're using avocado. You could use canola, grapeseed. You could use olive oil, but just a neutral oil, maybe not a flavored oil, a neutral oil, and we want to get that hot. You want to see it shimmering in the pan. You want to see it kind of dancing because you want these chili flakes to hit that oil, and they're going to kind of, not so much sizzle, but they're kind of just bubble up. And then that hot oil, it's going to infuse that hot oil, and then you strain them off, and we're going to drizzle that oil on the soup, and it's just fantastic flavor. Yeah. The cool thing about it too is after you, after you infuse the chili flakes, you can infuse them again. Say, hold on to those chili flakes. You could do it again, and then the chili flakes themselves, which I'm going to show them to you, could be used in a pot of chili, in an enchilada sauce. And a vinaigrette. Yeah, perfect. So I feel like that oil is hot. So Aleppo chili flakes go in, they sizzle, and I turn the heat off. Yep. I need to do, look, I'm looking at Alana like, help me. Oh, and Chelsea, does smell work on Facebook Live? Smelling?
Oh, yeah, I wish it did. But we're getting a lot of comments.
Okay.
Someone says hi.
So Aleppo chili flakes, what is the flavor profile? I'm going to say there's like a sweet smokiness to them.
Raisiny, earthy?
Yeah, it's definitely earthy. That's a great flavor. I always want to use the word brick, but I know that's a terrible descriptor for
just
a flavor.
Minerally,
earthy, and yeah, definitely have like a date or raisin quality to them. It is a fascinating chili flake. Again, you're going to get here with whatever chili flake you have in your pantry. So now, we strain them off, and remember that oil was completely neutral, and now it is brilliant red, and that, in 30 seconds, we created something that's going to give this soup the most amazing flavor, and just a little bit of heat. And for someone like me who doesn't love a ton of heat, it's a great little pop, like in every other bite versus something being hot through and through. So that's the thinking there. So we're going to serve up a couple of cups and get us some spoons, and Alana and I are going to take a bite and let you know how delicious it is. But the whole point of this was for me to pop on. I'm hoping to do this every day as long as it's appropriate and makes sense for everyone. It makes sense for me because I feel exponentially better now that I've just done this very quick dish. It's so grounding for me. It's zen, it's my happy place, and I hope you all are approaching, in a time like this, are approaching cooking in that way as something that can not only feed your family, but feed your soul, feed your mental health. Think about feeding a neighbor, maybe just popping it over and leaving it on their porch, rather than making close contact. But rather than this being a chore or not something we look forward to, that this is more about how we can take care of ourselves and our family and our mental health. So I've got the Aleppo oil, and it gets drizzled on, and it's so pretty on top of that soup. Chelsea, am I doing a good job? Can we see it?
Yep. Tilt it a little bit more.
More?
Yes. Yeah.
Better? Mm-hmm. So pretty. And you can stir it in. I like to just get it every couple of bites. Yeah. Really fun. You could certainly do more. But this chili oil is something that you then have available. It just elevates a humble food. And that I feel like this, while this food might be humble, it doesn't taste anything like humble food.
Right.
So, I hope you guys learned something here. I hope I inspired you to embrace this at this time, this really, really tough time that we're all having. Guys, I'd love to hear from you. What do you want to watch me cook? Please don't ask me to bake. What do you want to watch me cook? Because I would love to do this with you all every day. Around 4:30, and also I want to see what you all think of how we're going to get all these kids. Let's have home ec again. Yeah. With all these kids at home. How are we going to get these kids in the kitchen? And I want to hear what you guys want to learn. Thank you so much. Let's take a bite. Air cheers from a distance. That's my favorite soup. Thanks, guys. This was fun.